When I started out as a young amateur ballroom dancer, I was in a social dance studio. I didn't see any good dancing. I would say at most I saw couples learning a little silver, and even the couples that were learning like American style open for showcase purposes, I could just look at them and see, I know they could look a lot better. I didn't know how, but I could just see, they're okay. So it was years before I actually saw some decent dancing. And related to this, I only studied bronze for maybe the first 4 years. Very rudimentary bronze. Not even bronze done well. So we had huge local competitions, even though the dancing sucked, which was great fun. Every event had at least a semi. But I would say these events were dominated by what I call participants. And you know what? That first time I dipped my foot in that comp pool, I dominated. I was in a huge event. It was actually Latin, but anyway, I kicked butt. And I was like, okay, I am God's gift to dancing. I am legend. And I wanted to move on to that next silver level, and my coach wouldn't do it. He was straight up honest with me in sharing that he was incapable of teaching beyond the bronze. He came out of a big franchise studio like every other teacher in my state at that time, and I greatly respect his transparency when I look back and his truthfulness. And do I think it hurt me to stay in that bronze so long? No, it's better to stay in the bronze than learn crappy silver, gold, open. I guarantee that for long-term success. So anyway, I did ultimately switch to a better teacher. Same thing. Although I was capable of teaching silver level couples, not super well, but definitely had some background in international style, refused. You will keep on doing bronze. And at that time, I assumed it was because he didn't know how to teach better either. Clearly, he's going to try and dumb me down, keep me at the bronze as long as possible. Then I went to BYU dance camp. At that time, they had dance camps every summer. I don't think they do anymore, but I love that. And that was the first time I got to see legit championship level pros teaching. I signed up for all the classes, and at the beginning of the camp, the first day, like dance camps these days, they'll show you a little sample of what they're going to teach in that class, and then you self-identify which level do I belong in. So they would have like a beginning 1, beginning 2, intermediate 1, intermediate 2, advanced 1, advanced 2. Well, of course, I saw all the classes I was going to be able to take that week, and I was like, hey, I'm in all the advanced classes. Clearly, I've dominated my dancing in my state. I am ready for the top. Yeah, no. My amateur partner at the time, who was more experienced than me, he started when he was a very, very young kid. He said, Sonny, those figures look amazing, but we are competitors. Dancing those figures is a bad idea. You're only going to be able to dance like that and look halfway decent doing it and win in competition if you stay at those beginning levels. He made me take all beginning classes for that entire week in every style. He said, well, I'll let you take one intermediate class. And as you know, when you're an amateur dancer, it's a give and take. I thought he was full of poo-poo, but you know what? Yeah, I did it his way just to ease the path to along. Looking back, he was dead right. I'm glad I only took that one intermediate class that whole week. And these were amazing coaches. I would have loved to take really advanced stuff. It would have been amazingly fun and flashy. And I would have looked like dog do. I would have ingrained bad habits by doing that. You know, I'll tell you, when I take with my coaches, they teach all the top couples in the world as well. They always break down the patterns into the etymology of it. Oh, well, this figure evolved from the gold, blah, 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 which came from the silver, blah, 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 which came from the bronze. And they break it back down to that bronze level. Crazy steps. They always break it down to the bronze. And that's how I ingrain that learning fastest. That's how I implement really beautiful, high quality movement. in those open figures. It's not because I learned a bunch of open figures, trust you me. As a matter of fact, in pro private lessons, hey, back me up here, pros. We don't look at the crazy, complicated, triple syncopated locks. We look at syllabus. Guess what? When I take a private, I am hammering that natural spin turn. One of the first figures I ever learned in dancing. But you know what? Not only do I see beautiful results in that figure, I see beautiful results in all the figures. And I see faster results in those open figures to immediately execute it in a beautiful, better way than I would have if I had instead chose just, let's hammer continuous natural pivots. Psh, don't waste your time. Now, the way that my path took me, I danced for a good 10 years before I got into the open levels. I did the bronze until I pointed out at nationals, where I actually won first at the national championships. And at that point, legit, I really didn't belong in bronze, but it definitely gave me a sense of pride to win that and know, okay, I have mastered this as much as a bronze dancer could master this level. So I'm not saying this should be the path for you. We all have limited resources. For example, maybe we're more mature in our years. If I only have X years left in my dancing body, yeah, at that point, I probably need to set a tighter timeline. But if you have the time and you want to actually win at the higher levels, you want to dance beautifully, you want to learn those higher levels look better, I would recommend staying with that syllabus a long time. Maybe not 10 years is a bit excessive, but that's what I did. And I'm just sharing my personal journey. Your journey might look different than that. Another limiting factor that might kind of push up your deadline is, we all have a limited budget. Always pay attention to what your dance budget is and stay within that budget. I've heard pros encourage their students literally to cash in their retirement. And I'm like, please, student, run the other way. I'm sending psychic vibes across the ballroom floor to get them away from that horrible pro. But anyway, that's my story. I hope you found that to be interesting. And I look forward to seeing you first thing tomorrow morning for some more Things Ballroom Dance, guys. Thanks for joining me. Doodles.